What's going on, you guys? Today we are going to be doing some we're going to be doing some reactions to the 2024 presidential election. Now, obviously, I'm biased in this election, but we're going to try and be as respectful as we can. I'm going to give off my opinions. So maybe it'd be nice, maybe it won't be, but we're going to start at the 7-minute and 42-second mark. So we're going to start there.
Do it.
They're punching the
Do
TV.
it.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Fuck that
Can I
TV
take
and
it?
fuck that asshole. Do it. I'll buy.
So there's instantly something wrong here with this video. And obviously the number one thing that's wrong with this video is that they're smashing their TV. So obviously I'm not the first person to say this. Who you vote for is obviously your choice and your opinion. And as someone who is indeed conservative and voted for Trump, I have nothing against anybody that decides not to vote for Donald Trump or decides to vote third party or vote Kamala Harris or just not vote at all. But if this is how you choose to react when elections don't go your way, this is completely unnecessary behavior. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not against Democrats. I'm not against liberals. I am against people who choose to behave in such a disgusting, toxic manner or behavior that's completely unacceptable in today's society and something that has to change. And if it won't change, then you're not going to be able to really interact with members of society who share differing opinions.
Okay, maybe not that fucking hard.
I'm delivering 3 sermons today, each one to
This one really irritates me to no end because there are so many people out there that try and push religion into politics, and obviously religion is greatly involved in it, as obviously both Republicans and Democrats tried to show a lot of respect towards Christianity. But what I don't like, and this is actually towards this too, I don't like anybody that decides to say, if you vote for Donald Trump, you go to hell. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you go to heaven, or vice versa. Who you vote for does not determine whether or not you choose to go to heaven or if you choose to go to hell. It's your relationship with God. That's what really determines on whether or not you go to heaven or hell. If you love God, if you choose to be with God, if you choose to beg for God's forgiveness for your sins, you will be allowed into heaven, not because of some political propaganda. So anyone out there that got nervous over the fact that people like this one right here is trying to say, if you voted for Trump, you are going to hell. Like, do not listen to this type of stuff. Like, who you voted for will not determine your fate, in your overall religion. How you choose to follow God and what you do with your religion for yourself will determine that, not who you vote for in political elections.
a different group of people. And this one is for the Trump supporters. You are going to hell for this.
No, we're not.
You're going to hell
No, we
for
are not.
this. You have blatantly disregarded your neighbor. You have failed
That's not how religion works.
to care for the widowed, the orphaned, and the immigrant. You have
It's not how religion works. It's not how religion works.
It was not what I was expecting at all, considering some of the rhetoric
The
he
woke
has
mind
said.
virus.
I thought we as a nation were smarter, but I guess not. To my transgender
Do not, anybody who says that our nation is dumb or our nation is racist really don't have a real genuine reason on why they think lost the election. They don't understand why they lost. They don't comprehend why Kamala didn't win this election. And like I said, this is not in every single Democrat, but it is prevalent in many of them. And anybody who shares this mindset is not if the Democratic Party keeps focusing on this type of mindset, they're not going to win the midterms, nor are they going to win 2028, because we've now entered an era in our country where the American people are just growing sick and tired of these types of policies. Like, the American people have grown just exhausted talking about transgenderism or abortion rights. They are way more focused on things such as the cost of living, having food on the table, having a roof over their head, having a secure border. That's what they're most focused and really obsessed with. And that's something that Donald Trump talked about heavily during his campaign, and something Kamala, sadly, she rarely ever did, if not at all, except for the constant quoting, "I grew up in a middle-class family," which really did nothing in her campaign.
Gender and friends and, the people who it affects. As long as you stay alive, they cannot say we don't exist.
No one is saying trans people don't exist. No one is saying that.
Being a Satanist means rebelling against them.
I didn't want to discuss Satanism because it's such a controversial topic, more controversial than this. But this is not Satanism. It's not. There is a huge... Of course, they're going to say, we're not a real Satanist, we're a paganistic Satanist. So, to give a bit of a bit of a better understanding on what this type of religion is, it's not really a religion at all. It's more of an ideology, more of a set of beliefs. So there's two versions of it. The first version is where they do worship a version of Satan, but it's a version of Satan that has no real evidence of existence in the first place. So it doesn't exist. And the second one is atheistic Satanism, where they follow the beliefs and ideals of Satan, but they don't believe he exists, which in short is not really Satanism at all. It's just another version of atheism. And as a personal note, like even a lot of Satanists know that putting their ideologies into politics is a huge red flag, because Satanism is looked on so negatively by the American people, not just the American people, but people around the world, because this right, it's not looked at on a positive note. And anyone who thinks that, you really need to take another look on what these Satanists are doing. If either politician, either Trump or Kamala, really heavily involved themselves with stuff like Satanism, it would not have looked good for either of their campaigns. Just be aware of that.
Because they're wrong. And as long as you draw a breath, every breath you take is a rebellion. Keep on fighting, because you just have to. Hail Satan, hail reason always.
No words. None.
Trumpies are about to be real sick of me. What do you mean America is back? Congratulations, Donald Trump and whatnot. Who the fuck is in here? Let me go talk to him. Who put that little message that America is back? Who put that?
Doesn't matter. It's in the private.
It was you?
Nope.
It was somebody who worked here? Can I talk to him? Why not?
You can live there.
Anyway, fuck Trump. Fuck all of that shit. This is all.
Never mind. No. Let's just move on to the next one.
Break, right? Like we're just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything's gonna go back to the way it'll be a psych. It'll be like a really.
Life's gonna go on as normal, sweetheart. Life's going to continue as normal. That's how life goes. Like, that's how politics are. Presidents win, life moves on. I assure you. Like, I do not like the misplaced fear that Democrats had when voting for Trump. And the same thing goes for Republicans about Kamala Harris. I didn't really believe in the misplaced fears. There were some things that I guess was a bit over-exaggerated that I did believe in, but I wasn't so vocal about it. I was vocal about it just a little bit, but it wasn't my whole shtick when I talked about politics. I knew if Kamala did in fact win this election, I would have just gone back to work the next day and just moved on with my life, because obviously I would have been upset because I wouldn't have wanted Kamala to win, and that's not the election results I would have wanted. But eventually I would move on. Obviously, I was not happy. Well, even though I was only 16, and looking back at it now, I am betting I wouldn't have been happy if I was old enough to vote during the 2020 election and I saw Joe Biden win the election. But that's how politics work. Sometimes you cheer over the politician you root for, and sometimes you complain over the politician that you wanted to win but doesn't. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be emotional, because that's a natural thing. But eventually, people are gonna have to just move on with their lives because that's how life works. You get up, you cry, and then you go forward. Because this is 2 months ago, or almost 3 months. Anybody that's still talking about this really just needs to unplug from social media and just try to just enjoy life without politics. Just try that.
Bad dream, and none of this will ever happen, right? Like, it'll be like the first time, and then we're all gonna pull through fine in 4 years.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine in 4 years. All of us are gonna be fine. We're all gonna be alive and well in 4 years. Obviously, we're gonna lose some people, but not from like a big disaster or anything. But people just die naturally. No, that's just a natural thing. Obviously, people at her age and people at my age will definitely be around in the years of 2026 and 2028. We're not going anywhere. Life's just going to continue on as it should, and that's how life is.
Correct? Please? Someone tell me?
You'll be fine.
I can tell you one thing right now. Marriage is the farthest thing from on the table currently. So they screwed the pooch on that one if they
Not
thought
really, if you guys
that
are
any
still
of
on
this
dating
was
apps.
going to
I
actually
see it
help
every day.
with the
Yes,
whole
I am on
family and
dating
kids
apps. I see
department
them.
and
I see
lowering
I see
birth rates
people,
because
some
that,
millennials on apps.
no,
They're on there.
nuh-uh, not even. Any semblance of thoughts I had or hope for that is completely going to be a no thanks for me, love. Do you think I would ever even dare bring a child into this country now? It was rough before. Now? No. That's cute. And the men, don't even get me started about dating. The thing.
You know, it's... If you're going to date someone based on their political point of view, you shouldn't date at all. I've had trouble dating women who are liberal, but I'm not against it. Like, if I do end up dating a girl that is in fact a liberal, that's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. The only time I really have to say no to a girlfriend is if their entire worldview is politics and all they do is talk about politics, and it's pretty much the opposite. Actually, no, it's not. Even if it's both, either left or right, I don't want my relationships to be everyday, non-stop talk about politics. Yes, I enjoy talking about politics because it's my right to do so, but I don't want to talk about it all the time. That's not how relationships work. And if that's how you think relationships work, then maybe you should stay single for quite some time and work things out and realize that that's not the basis on how a relationship works, honey.
I was still entertaining a few moderates here and there sometimes. No,
Entertaining?
honey, no. Not even close. That's never goodbye.
Okay.
Baby, if you wanted to touch my body, you should have voted for it.
Woo!
Really?
I woke up this morning and women are mad.
Yes, they are. Yes, they will not are mad. Were mad. Not anymore. A lot of them are still mad, but a lot of them have tended to move on. I can't really show this video because this guy says a lot of explicit things, so I sadly have to skip this one.
To go to sleep because I'm so scared that the cops are just gonna break in our house and
No.
make me a slave or
Really? A slave? Are you know... Well, I can tell you this, the cops definitely did not go to her house. They didn't. Anyone who had that idea, I'm sorry, like, stop watching mainstream media. Stop listening to massive left-wing content creators that have this type of mindset. Like, that's how you choose to view politics? Like, I know I've said it, I'm a broken record when I say this, but this is not normal. This is not normal behavior. This is not how you act when it comes to politics.
You could have downsized your life,
here we go with this guy
gotten
again.
rid of that big giant truck of yours, and
Downsized? Got rid of the... What does this have to do with religion? What people drive is none of... What I drive is no one's business. If I choose to drive a giant pickup truck, that's my decision. People don't get... Religion does not decide what cars I get to drive. God's not going to come to me and say, oh, because you drove a Ford F-250, you don't get to go to heaven. That doesn't make any sense.
Now that the orange turd has won, we should now rename America Hell, because it is going to be hell
America's
on Earth.
hell, then leave.
Once they strip everyone's rights away, that is...
Look, if anyone here is complaining that America is going to be a fascist country or it's going to be hell, then you are more than welcome to leave. You can get your passport. You can leave. You can leave the nation. You don't have to stay here at all. Like, if you want to go, you can go. No one's forcing you to live in America.
There's no straight white cis man.
No offense, buddy, but you are a white man. You're a white man, just like me. We're both white.
So buckle up. Hope you freaking Republicans are happy.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'll tell you that much.
I'm out of here.
Okay.
But if the platforms, whether it's Facebook,
God, Hillary,
or Twitter X, or Instagram, or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the...
So control of what people say, what people can say, and what they cannot say on social media. Doesn't sound like freedom of speech. Sounds a lot more like, you know, fascism, which is what they did back in Germany. They censored so many people based on simple disagreements. And this is essentially what Hillary Clinton is saying.
Social and psychological effects, it's real harm.
How is it harm? How is having a disagreeing opinion harm? And even if it is somehow hate speech, the way to fight hate speech is to not to censor it, because that makes you the hypocrite.
Damn, poor Melania. Now she has to fucking act like she loves this man for 4 more years.
I like how these liberals think they know how Melania really feels towards Donald Trump. I like how they think they just know how the whole family feels about this, when in reality, they don't even know any of these people.
He could have gone to prison. Melania could have been free.
Well, he's not going to prison. He probably isn't going to go to prison anytime soon, even after he finishes his second term.
In the country, can you believe that? I just say really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny.
You're only saying that because you lost. If Kamala would have won, would you be saying this? No, you wouldn't. See, this is obviously, I know he's being a BSer about this, but there are indeed Democrats out there going, we have to understand, like, you have to understand the policies that Kamala was running on, like this was not attracting new voters. How he chose to treat the opposition, how he chose to react, how he chose to speak with the opposition, like that, this was like, it was not bringing in new voters. Like, you go on social media, and anyone that knows how the left acts towards opposition, it's not a pretty picture. Obviously, I've obviously said a lot of negative things towards liberals. Sometimes I have gotten angry, but when you see what these liberals say on social media, it is absolutely mind-blowing that some of this stuff is even allowed to be on social media. And when the undecided and independent sees that, they're not going to say, "Wow, this is great. This is really going to convince me to be liberal." No, when they look at this and see how so many, not all, but how so many of them really act on social media, they're going to go, is this seriously the Democratic Party? Is this seriously how they're choosing to talk to the opposition instead of having a respectful disagreement or just a civil debate? It's all a bunch of hateful incitement of violence. And I'm not trying to say the Republicans aren't innocent of this. They are very much accused of the same thing as well. But I have seen this so much more prevalent with the left for some reason, and I don't know why.
Misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men. Right. It's misogyny from black men. Things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these.
I think those two actually went to Mar-a-Lago in Florida.
Separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before. A lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and
of
with other Hispanics. You got some
exactly.
That's not why the Hispanic people voted against Kamala Harris.
Like each other. And some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And
how is it misogyny? This is just another group of people saying America is misogynistic.
You gotta have real
This is no different than them saying America is racist.
I wouldn't be surprised if the median income of the Republican voter was lower than that of the Democrat voter at this point. Not mean, but median. They are the party of the working class because the working class is largely stupid, uneducated, and highly susceptible to propaganda.
And that is exactly why Democrats lost. Because that's how they chose to treat the working class, the people that are actually making this country run. Because without the working class, there is no America. That's how they chose to treat the working class. That's how they chose to treat the middle class. That's exactly how they chose to treat blue-collar union workers who work their asses off day and night, 9 to 5, 5 days a week. God knows how longer if they work weekends. And that's how they chose to treat us, to treat working class citizens. And yet they still wonder, why didn't they vote for Kamala Harris? Why didn't they back her? Why didn't they join our movement against Donald Trump? There's your reason why.
If you're a conservative woman, here's how I'm going to fix your life, okay? So you just got married to your husband. Your husband is blatant, just redneck garbage. You like him. No, for some reason, something there is clicking. I'm going to seduce your husband. Well, now
it's definitely not going to work since you made a video about it.
And I'm going to explain to him that nobody has ever made me feel the way he has. And I'm young.
If you actually plan on seducing conservative men and to try and ruin marriages, how about don't make a video about it? Because you're basically just exposing yourself. So now people are going to know you're doing this, and now they're just not going to believe you.
Younger than you, conservative woman that married him. And I'm going to start like...
And there's a lot of conservative women that are younger than you, honey. I'm going to bet you're in your 20s or something.
Explaining that I'm just so fun and I like doing fun shit. Because you're probably married and you can't do fun shit. And then once I do that and I implement your fucking marriage arc, he's going to cause some irrational feelings, which is going to...
Why is she getting so close to the camera? It's like if I wanted to do something, I just got up close and personal to the camera. Why do people do that? Why do they always get so close to the camera? Like, we can see you. We can see you. Back away. Back up. You don't need to be so up close and personal. We can see you. Like, come on.
Establish itself in your marriage problems. And then you're going to be like, why am I doing this shit for a man? This is where we get ya. Get ya. Because then you're like, why am I supporting a guy that isn't doing anything for me? There you go.
Let me be very, very clear when I say this. If you are an alternative person, punk, goth, however you classify yourself, in the alternative community, and you support Trump, no, you're fucking not. No, you're not. I have never been...
You do not get to decide if these people are just decide to be punk or goth or whatever you just said. You don't get to decide that. You don't. Even if they are the minority on whether or not they voted for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, you do not get that vote. You don't get that vote. You don't get to decide that because you do not speak on behalf of everyone. You don't. So stop acting like you do.
And the type of person that's like, well, if you don't listen to this music, you're not goth, you're not punk. I'm not that type of person. But if you don't have the same fucking values, the same fucking common sense.
It's not values. It's not common sense. It's voting for Kamala Harris or voting for Donald Trump. It's not logical information. Even I can say that as a MAGA supporter. It's not logical. It's just a matter of choice and opinion and a point of view. Voting for Donald Trump is a point of view. Voting for Kamala Harris is a point of view. The problem is with a lot of people think that hating or despising Donald Trump is common knowledge. It's a common thing. No, it isn't. If you want to hate Donald Trump, but it's not fact. It's just a point of view. That's all that is.
When it comes to human rights, you're not alternative.
I have decided that my personal revenge for this 2024 election fiasco is to be a menace to men on dating apps. I'm going to re-download probably just Tinder and Hinge and match up every single man. Say I'm down for hookups. Give them my.
A lot of men are not interested in hookups anymore. Well, some are, but like, we're not interested in that kind of stuff. A lot of us men actually do want genuine relationships. A lot of men are actually dating to marry, and a lot of women share that idea. They also share that idea as well. And no offense, but I don't really know any guy that would really want. Well, not trying to be that type of person on looks, but I don't really think any guy would really be interested in spending a night with you. No offense.
Google Voice number. Talk with them. Say, yeah, I'll come over. Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah, I'm 5 minutes out. What do you mean? I'm here. Don't you see me? Guess what? I won't be there. And
I've said this to the last girl. If this is your plan and this is what you're going to do to men because they didn't vote for Kamala Harris, then don't make a video about it. Don't. Because you're just setting yourself up for failure when you make a video explaining your master plan to ruin the lives of conservative men that voted for Donald Trump.
And I'm going to ruin your plans. Anytime you make plans with me, I will lie to you, stand you up, ghost you. I'm just going to be a menace. Because why not? Men.
And thank you for once again showing why so many men, despite what I just said earlier, why so many men, while wanting to date to marry, at the same time have no real intention of dating women because of stuff like this.
Don't like women? I'm going to start actively practicing misandry. And that's my personal goal for 2024.
Oh, God.
Good morning. I took yesterday to be angry and miserable, and I also took yesterday to make the decision to block my father.
You know, I had a feeling we'd enter this type of discussion. This is gonna be the last one I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna call it a night. This is without doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard when it comes to politics, or like people who say, if you voted for Donald Trump, I want nothing to do with you. I don't want you to be my friend anymore. We're cutting off. We're not family anymore. My family is pretty much is really divided when it comes to politics. Some members of my family are Democrat, others are Republican, and we don't hold anything against one another based on who we vote for. Yeah, we disagree a lot, and sometimes we do in fact argue, but we're not going to cut each other out of our lives because we chose to vote for someone that they didn't like or what we didn't like. Like, I know many members of my family voted for Kamala Harris, and I disagree with them all the time. Am I going to cut them out of my life? No, absolutely not. I have friends that voted for Kamala Harris. I disagree with them, yes, but am I going to cut them out? No, because that's unreasonable. That makes no sense. It's just flat out rude, and you're destroying a relationship that you've had for possibly years, and it's even worse so with family. I have many close, very close family members of mine that do not share the same political opinion as I do. They didn't cut me out of my life. They didn't cut me out of their life. I didn't cut them out of my life. That's not what we did. We chose to disagree, but we still love each other because we are family. That's what's important. We know the most important thing in our lives is not politics, but it's us as a family. And if you're going to let simple political disagreements affect your relationship with either your friends, your family members, or even the ones that you love very much closely, then you really, really, really need to seek some help, because that is just unnatural for anyone who's either Republican or Democrat, because it makes no sense. I'm going to let her finish her speech. I'll probably butt in a few more times, and that's going to be it.
Who will still end up seeing this. So, hi, Dad. And yes, I did block him because of who he voted for. Because he knows that I am trans, and he knows that I have had 2 abortions.
Either you're a trans man, because trans women cannot get pregnant. Trans women cannot get pregnant, and they can't have abortions. So I'm going to assume you're a woman who transitioned into a man.
And he still voted for Project 2025, which...
Project Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025. It's been made clear hundreds and hundreds of times. Nothing from Project 2025 has been implemented.
To me, is reprehensible. I have my husband who loves and supports me to the ends of the earth. I have my friends who love and support me to the ends of the earth.
Good for you.
And I have other family members who love and support me to the ends of the earth. And I genuinely do not need anyone else. I realize this is something not everyone is able to do safely, and I'm very grateful for my ability to do that safely. I cut my mother off until the day she died, and
That's just sad. Cutting off all ties with your mother until the day she died? That's messed up. Even for anyone who's Republican or Democrat, cutting off ties with a family member, it broke their heart so much that it killed them? Like, that's just a whole new level of messed up. I get it. I've disagreed with so many liberals over the time. I've disagreed with so many family members over the times with politics. And there are times where I do not speak to members of my families for weeks at end. But I would never cut them out of my life, because that's just wrong. Like, you should not be cutting family out of your life based on who they vote for. That is a whole new level of messed up. Like, this is unnatural. Like, this is not even a normal thing. This is an unnatural thing. It's ridiculous, and it's somewhat actually childish.
I can and will do that again.
So I'm going to stop here. I'll probably do a part 2 another time, but right now I just wanted to give you a bit of a taste of how many liberals were reacting about this election back in November and how they still are acting today. Again, I've made it clear, not every single Democrat is like this. Many Democrats have been respectful. They've accepted the results, and I have nothing against anyone that is in fact a Democrat or that decided to not vote for Donald Trump. But if this is how you choose to react or choose to behave over simple election results, then I'm obviously going to say something, because, well, it's my First Amendment right to do so. Thanks for watching, and peace.